To the Autodesk Move to Subscription. My name's Kristen O'Loughlin. I'm the Customer Experience Team Leader here at A2K Technologies, and I'll be walking you through all of the changes coming up over the next couple of years that are going to affect your maintenance plans and the move to subscription. If I can just ask if we can confirm that the audio is working, if you can just write a quick OK in the question box to let me know that you can hear me, that would be appreciated. Excellent. Thanks a lot, guys. So I'm just going to give it one more moment just in case we've got a few more people that are coming online and we don't want anybody to miss the beginning, and then we'll get started. Okay guys, so let's get started going through the Autodesk Move to Subscription. Okay, so today's agenda, we're going to go over a few things. We'll be talking about the overview of when dates of changes occur. Some of these have already come into play, but obviously we just want to make you aware, so when you're looking at everything, what's happened, where we're going. Then we'll go into talking about switch options, as in what you can take your products to should you choose to switch to subscription from maintenance, followed by some information on the maintenance renewal price increases, the price to switch. Then we'll have a look at the maintenance to subscription long-term view that Autodesk has so far provided. Then we'll talk about benefits of subscription, and as I'm aware, we have received a lot of questions from you who have registered for this webinar. So we want to go through and answer some of those questions for you guys, and obviously any that we can't answer at this point, get those questions down so we can get further information from Autodesk as soon as possible to help you make an informed decision. So the idea of today's webinar is purely to provide you with all of the information that you need, so when your maintenance renewal comes up, you can make an informed decision. Whether that decision is to switch, maintain your maintenance, maybe it is not to renew, but we want to ensure whichever direction you're intending on heading in, you have all the information that you need to make the best decision for your organisation. So working into the dates of the Autodesk changes, you may be aware already that unfortunately end of year, multi-year maintenance has now already happened. So that happened on the 20th of February. So nobody can actually lock in for a multi-year renewal on your maintenance plan. Now we will later on go into a big question that has come up quite a bit, which is what if I'm already on a multi-year plan? How does that affect me? So we will answer that question down the track. On the 21st of March, there was a price increase on some subscription licenses, AutoCAD LT, AutoCAD and AutoCAD Vertical, such as MAP, AutoCAD Architecture, Mechanical and so on. This only affects people on subscription, but we do like to make you aware of these, as should you be looking to purchase any additional licenses. If you've obviously gotten a quote at some stage last year, pricing could be different should you be looking at doing something again in the next 12 months. So our first big date that affects your maintenance renewals is the 7th of May. There is a 5% increase on maintenance plan renewals that will take place. For those of you who already have your calendars out, the 7th of May is a Sunday, so we're actually working till the 5th of May when we're looking at dates for that. It means that any of our clients who are due around that May time, they do have an opportunity to renew early and look at their options for maintenance, continuation or switch next year. For those who are due after that time, it will come down to a decision based on how you wish to proceed with switching, with maintenance. So the biggest change of all is the switch coming in June. At this point in time, we don't have an exact date from Autodesk as to when that switch will be made available for us to start processing. With that in mind, clients who may be due around the May and June timeframe who would like to switch, we are offering the opportunity to do a 2-month proration to a July end date and then do your switch in July when we know it will be available for us to actually proceed with. Okay, so your switch options, you have a few different ways you can go depending on the types of products that you have. Should you have an individual product such as an AutoCAD, Map 3D, Civil 3D, you can move to the same product on subscription, or you have the option of moving to one of the new industry collections. Should you choose to move to an industry collection, depending on which product you have depends on which industry collection you can move to. For example, if you own a Revit license or something in the architectural side of things, you would move to the AEC collection. If you own an Inventor, you would go to the product designed collection. If you own a 3ds Max and you choose to switch to an industry collection, your option is to move to the media and entertainment collection only. If you're looking at an individual LT product, you can move to, again, an individual LT product, AutoCAD LT, Revit LT, Inventor LT, or to a suite. At this point in time, we haven't yet been provided pricing from an individual LT to move to an LT suite, but we are working with Autodesk to get that. If you are currently on a design and creation suite, you can move to an industry collection. What I would like to point out is anybody attending today's webinar will be receiving an email with information that will include a matrix of all of these products and what you can move to help you make that informed decision. And last but not least, an LT suite simply moves to an LT suite. Okay, so let's talk pricing. So maintenance renewal pricing is increasing. I don't think there's anybody by now that isn't aware of that. But for you, what is understanding is what are the prices increasing to? So in May 2017, as we said, that 7th of May, the price will actually increase by 5%. If we're talking about, for example, an average building design suite premium, you're currently looking at about 1440 ex-GST. That's going to increase to around 1512 ex-GST. Then in 2018, that price is going to increase another additional 10%. Forgive me, my maths is not so good that I can do all of this off the top of my head, but where I can, I will provide figures. Again, in May 2019, the price is then going to increase an additional 20%. I know the big question from a lot of people is what's going to happen in 2020. In relation to maintenance, the answer is at this point in time, we don't know. Autodesk has not provided further information in relation to maintenance plans as of 2020 as to any further increases. The only information at this point is they have provided is they are not yet stopping the sale of maintenance renewals. So at this point in time, we're assuming you can still renew in 2020, but unfortunately are unable to provide you exact pricing for budgeting purposes. Okay, so I've just had a question through from Kent that I just wanted to quickly answer. In relation to a design suite, stay under a design suite maintenance. If you're staying on maintenance, you can continue to keep it as a suite. It would only be if you chose to switch to subscription that you would move to an industry collection, because industry collections are available on subscription, but design and creation suites aren't. Okay. So, looking at the maintenance to subscription long-term view, we're talking about the switch price. So, year 1, May 2017, whether you renew your maintenance or whether you choose to switch, the pricing is the same. It's a 5% increase on the maintenance, and the switch price is your existing maintenance cost plus 5%. So, meaning either way, you're going to be paying the same. So if you choose to switch on a building design suite premium, you're going to be paying $15.12. If you choose to renew your maintenance after the price increase, you're paying $15.12. Where the difference comes in is your future years. Should you choose to remain on your maintenance for 2017 and then in 2018 consider switching, you're going to pay that $15.12 plus an additional 5%. If you decide on May 2018 not to switch, stay on your maintenance, you still have the option to switch in 2019, an additional 5% again. However, should you choose in May 2017 that you're going to do that switch first go with that first 5% at $15.12, you will actually lock that price in, and that will be the price you continue to pay for your 2018 and 2019 renewals. So our next table that shows you here is just following on from this conversation in basically showing, depending on when you switch, is how long you get to lock your price in. So as I said, if you lock it in 2017, 2018, 2019, you'll get the same price. If you lock it in 2018, you get it for 2018, 2019. So the big question from everybody is what happens in 2020? In 2020, the pricing will be grandfathered, and that final 5%, so you've got 2017 5%, 2018 an additional 5%, and 2019 5%, it's a little bit more than 15%, that will now be your new base price as to what you will pay for your subscription moving forward. And as long as you continue to maintain paying for your subscription, that is what your price is going to be. So this is great in the fact of at least it will allow you to budget and understand that if you choose to switch this year and you've locked your price in for the next 3 years, you'll actually know what the increase is going to be in 2020 and what you're going to be moving to allow your organisation to budget for it appropriately. Okay, so just going back over that again, so if you choose to switch in 2017, you can lock in your price for 2018 and 2019, and we're going to use a Building Design Suite Premium as an example. So $1,512, $1,512, that will go to an AEC collection, and you'll continue paying that $1,512 for 2018, 2019. Then in 2020, it will be about 15% more than what you would have paid in 2017 will be your new renewal price in the 2020 renewal. That's correct, 15% on current payment. Any further questions before I move on from that one? I know I've thrown a lot of information at everybody. Fantastic. So just quickly to make you aware in relation to the benefits of subscription is there are a couple of changes should you move from maintenance to subscription. There's also a lot of things the same that you may not have actually utilised before to get your best return on investment. Obviously access to the latest software is one that everybody's aware of with the new releases. 2018 has actually started being released by Autodesk, and you'll see more of those over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Autodesk has actually released a technical support change. You can contact them and schedule a return call from one of their support team to assist you, but obviously you still do have A2K Technologies technical support, and further down I'll talk to you about our onboarding specialist and how she's going to help you get through the switch. Your administrative tools tie in with your Autodesk account. So this is being able to run your own asset reports, manage your own licenses and user assignment, which again we'll go through with the onboarding specialists. You may be aware of the customer experience team here at A2K Technologies. They're the wonderful team of ladies who contact you in relation to your subscriptions. They're also here to help you with any asset contract reports, any information about the changes, how it's going to affect you, and providing pricing if you're wanting to have a look at your different options available to you. Okay. My team is also there to provide you all of the notification of these license changes. So as we get up-to-date information from Autodesk, we will provide that to you. One of the big things moving forward is helping you to understand compliance and terms and conditions of your subscription. Obviously with subscription it's a bit different to maintenance, so we want to ensure that you are remaining compliant with Autodesk, and we want to help you in any way that we can to ensure that you're doing the right things at your end and you're feeling comfortable that you are sitting compliant. So we do have an onboarding specialist here at A2K Technologies, and her job is to help you with any installation, activations, basic troubleshooting, license files and Autodesk account management. So that takes me into what actually happens if you choose to switch. Should you choose to switch, there are a few changes in relation to how you're going to be managing your licensing. For multi-user licensing, which we previously knew as network licensing, if you switch from your maintenance to your from your maintenance to your subscription licensing, you will be required to get your license files updated. So obviously a little bit of work to do there, but we do have a team here that can assist you with that. You will be required to actually change your serial numbers within your products because you will be supplied with a new contract number and new serial numbers. As far as installation goes, if you are changing product, you will need to uninstall and reinstall. So for example, if you are going from a Building Design Suite Premium to an AEC collection, you will need to uninstall your existing licensing and reinstall your new licensing. If you are going from the same product to the same product, all you need to do is go into the product and change the serial number. And again, we have an entire team here to assist you to do that. If you're on standalone licensing, it's a little bit different. It is more about user management. So for anybody out there who currently doesn't access your Autodesk account with standalone licenses, if you are planning to switch, now would be a great time to get in touch with our customer experience team and get us to order your user logins for Autodesk accounts because you are going to need them. You will be required with your standalone licenses to assign users to those licenses. Until you have assigned them, they won't actually be able to access them. So once we get your new contract and your new serial numbers, this will be something again that we can assist you with in getting set up and talk you through the Autodesk account management of it. I guess the one bright side of being able to set up users is that your compliance is going to be a lot easier to manage because from your point of view, you're going to see who is using what license when, and from what we've seen so far, it does make life a lot easier in that term. So following on from today, I will be sending a copy of our webinar along with the matrix of eligibility seats to move. At this point in time, there are a number of products that are actually not on Autodesk Eligibility Matrix. I want to be really honest about that. Things such as Inventor and Navisworks Simulate. There's a few other products as well that are probably not as popular or well-known products that are on there, and you may be somebody who has one of these products. Please don't be too concerned. The eligibility matrix is being updated this month, and by the end of the month we should have an update and we'll be able to advise you on those particular products that are missing, on what you can do and when you will be able to switch if that's what you're wanting to do. Okay. So I think I've thrown a lot of information at you today and we've probably got a lot that we can send out to you, but I'd like to give you the opportunity now if you have questions to start sending them through, and I'll do my best to start getting through them. So forgive me as I'm reading through and start going through some of that information for you. Okay. So for the question about keeping the perpetual license, even if you switch, at this point in time, no. So when you switch, you will no longer have access to the perpetual license. You will be able to use your current version, which could be 2017 or 2018, depending on your product if 2018 has been released, and you will be able to use 3 versions back. You won't be able to use earlier versions, so meaning if you are currently working on 2014 or earlier, there's a decision for you to make there about possibly moving up to a newer version. But should you switch to subscription and then choose at some point not to renew that subscription, you won't have access to your licenses the way you would have if you didn't renew a perpetual. Okay. Okay, in relation to the question about getting software updates with maintenance plans listed as a subscription benefit, there is nothing that we have been informed from Autodesk to say that you will not get the current version if you maintain your maintenance at this point in time. As I said, we're seeing the 2018 release go ahead at this point in time. The fact that maintenance is still going as far as we know until 2019-2020, we expect to still see the upgrades being made available around the usual time of April to May every year at this point in time. Okay, question Question about user licensing as in permitting use from various devices, laptop and desktop. So home use will still be available on subscription as it was on maintenance. You can still do your installation on your home PC or laptop as well as your work one. Same rules apply, you just can't use them both at the same time. That would be non-compliant, but that part of things is still definitely the same. Okay. So question, Navisworks Simulate not in the new suites is Navisworks Simulate isn't included in the new suites. It's actually being replaced in the new industry collections by Navisworks Manage, which has the same functionality as simulation plus clash detection. Okay. Yep, so just to confirm, home use works exactly the same. For standalone, it's just a second install on your home PC or laptop. For your network licensing, still works the same in the sense that you need to go through your Autodesk account, request home use. You'll be supplied a standalone serial number with a 13-month expiry on it that you can then take home and install on your home PC or laptop. The question, when will Autodesk move us from maintenance to subscription? Unfortunately, we don't have a definitive date as to when they will stop making the renewal of maintenance subscriptions available. There's been nothing to say from beyond 2019 or 2020 that they are definitely stopping it. At this point in time, all we can do is look at the next 3 years ahead and say it is still available, and we haven't been provided any further information to say any different. Okay, so if you've got a multi-year renewal that you're already locked into for the next couple of years, what it means is that when your renewal comes up is when you can make your decision to switch. So if your renewal is coming up in 2018, you can then choose to continue with your maintenance, which by 2018 it would be the maintenance cost with the additional 5% from 2017 and then the additional 10% in 2018. Or you can do the switch in 2018, which would be your original 5% in 2017 and your 5% in 2018. That is something we can definitely provide you some pricing on so that you can look at your budgetary options. So Selena, I would definitely recommend, if you'd like to get in contact with us, we'd be more than happy to provide you some budgetary pricing in relation to that one. The difference between maintenance and subscription. So maintenance, or perpetual licensing as it is known, was where you would originally pay an upfront sum to purchase your license or the rights to use your license, and then you would continue to pay an annual fee on subscription, as we called it, or maintenance now as it's known, to continue getting your upgrades and the benefits. Subscription is more of a pay-as-you-go type thing. It's very project-based, so it means that rather than paying the initial upfront lump sum, you're looking at just paying an annual or quarterly or multi-year fee depending on the time frame that you want to have it for, and being able to pick it up and drop it off as your organisation requires. In all honesty, this is a little bit different because obviously to lock your pricing in, you do want to continue with your maintenance plan. If you switch it to subscription, continue renewing that to maintain the existing pricing that you will be locking in. Okay. Yes, so home use will still be available even if you retain your maintenance and choose not to switch. You'll still be having full access to that as you always have. Perpetual licenses to remain active forever. Again, Autodesk haven't provided information either way. They certainly haven't changed any of their terms and conditions that if you choose to not renew your subscription, you can still use your last registered version that ceased when you decided to end renewing. Okay, with 2018 maintenance, so for a suite it does work a little bit different from an industry collection. An industry collection, you actually will download and install the products individually, so you only need to download and install the products you actually want to use. The suites are a little bit different. You do still need to download this suite as an entirety, install as an entirety, and then you can activate out of that which products you're going to choose to actually use. Okay, so if you move to subscription, you don't longer have access to the perpetual rights. The reason that you're looking to uninstall those products is because it's essentially no different to, for example, years ago, if you had bought an AutoCAD license and then you upgraded from an AutoCAD to a Revit license, you would no longer have access to that original AutoCAD, you would only use Revit. So similar thing with the switch is if you move from a building design suite to an AEC collection, you actually have now purchased a different product. So you can use the prior versions of that different product, but to use the building design suite premium, you actually would be non-compliant because you no longer actually have that product having switched to a new one. Okay, so a big question that's come up quite a bit, and I can see it's come up here, is in relation to internet connection for subscription software. So you do need to connect to the internet every 30 days if you are on standalone licensing in order for it just to update and check in on the license and make sure that it's all working. A little bit different, you don't have to worry about that if you're obviously working through network. But yes, if you are on a standalone every 30 days, you just need to log on to that internet if you don't normally have it on all the time. Okay. So if you cease maintenance, you won't lose home use because of the fact that you still have home use as a benefit of subscription. However, if you choose to not renew anything at all and you're going to cease your maintenance and not switch, then yes, you won't have access to prior versions or home use, as these are benefits of maintenance and subscription. Okay. Okay, so my question from Namir, I'm actually going to grab your details and answer your questions offline in relation to the pricing over the next few years for your AutoCAD LT. You will continue to be able to, as long as you're on maintenance or subscription, access your two licenses as home use and office use. But we will grab your details and ensure that offline we can get that information to you so that you can actually see the pricing that you're needing. Okay, so there is a collaboration for Revit promotion going on at the moment. It is in relation to new licensing being purchased in conjunction with the collaboration for Revit. There is no current promotion if you are switching from maintenance to subscription, getting that for free as part of it, mainly because obviously the subscription pricing is quite different to what the switch pricing is. So anybody purchasing a new license would find quite a difference in what they're actually paying for that as opposed to what you're going to be paying for the switch. Okay. Okay, so just getting a lot of questions in relation to having purchased perpetual licenses in relation to reimbursement. Autodesk is not offering reimbursements in relation to perpetual licensing. I guess looking at it, moving to subscription is a direction that they have been planning to move into for the last 2 to 3 years, and they're now finally making that step. You will still have access to your licenses whether you stay on maintenance or you switch to subscription. And it has been a number of years since Autodesk have had price increases, so you know it isn't surprising that we are looking at maintenance increasing, or you know there being a slight increase to make the switch. As long as you are continuing to renew your maintenance or switch to subscription and continue to renew, you will still find that you're getting the value out of what you're paying into it. Okay. So just to clarify, you don't have to install the entire collection if you only use AutoCAD and Revit, if you end up going to an industry collection. If you have a design and creation suite, you do have to install the entire suite, but the beauty of collections is you only need to install and activate the individual products within the collection that you actually want to use. So I think there's about 12 to 15 products within an AEC industry collection. You do not have to download, install and activate all of those. If it's just 2, you will literally just access those 2. Okay. In relation to being able to choose between various suites for the different products that you require, in the eligibility matrix, which we'll send out to everybody who's attended today, it will actually show, depending on the product you have, which suite you can move to, which industry collection you can move to. Once you move to that industry collection, it is your product. So if your product moves to an AEC industry collection, you won't have access to the product design industry collection. In relation to a pricing comparison matrix, we actually have created something from A2K that we can provide you. I'm happy to absolutely do that. What we just want to make sure everybody understands is the pricing that we have put together is based on current day pricing. And obviously there is always a disclaimer that, you know, should price change, which we are not expecting it to, but should it, that pricing would be current as of today. So happy to provide that along with the other information and eligibility matrix to help make your decisions easier. Okay. So I understand for a lot of people this is a big change. What Autodesk is doing in relation to this is they're moving in the way and the direction of the industry. You know, for anybody who might have Microsoft or Adobe licenses, you might have already seen this happen with those particular licenses. The rental model as pay-as-you-go has become more popular in recent years, and this is what has prompted Autodesk's decision to move in this direction towards doing more of a pay-as-you-go model as a subscription model rather than just a maintenance option. And hopefully we can provide you enough information here today that you're able to make a decision if that's the right step for you moving forward. Okay, so you can understand a lot of the information that's coming out has been a little bit confusing. When you move to subscription, you don't forfeit your existing product. You're basically, as I said, moving from one product to another. So your difference is, should you not renew your subscription, you won't have access to those licenses on the last registered version as you would in maintenance. But as long as you're continuing to renew, as you would have done on your maintenance plan, you will continue to use the latest version and 3 versions back. Okay. What industry collection suite is Civil 3D in? So in your AEC industry collection, Civil 3D is kept. Again, we can send you a matrix along with your webinar after this of what's in the industry collections, just to make your life a little bit easier when making those decisions. Okay, question about moving to the new version. So subscription works the same as maintenance in relation to the new version. You don't have to move to the new version as soon as it's released. You can continue working on any of those 3 versions back. So should you be using add-on software that is a year behind where Autodesk is and compatibility issues are a concern, with the current version at 2017, you can continue to use 16, 15 and 14. Okay, so hopefully I think I've answered most questions that have come up. Are there any further last questions anybody would like to ask? Okay. So for any further questions, if you would like to take them offline, I would like to encourage you to send them through to customer care, one word, at a2ktechnologies.com.au. Our customer experience team is currently working through proactively contacting all of our clients to have these discussions with you as your renewals come up and talk about your options. But understandably, you may be renewing later on in the year, but you'd like to start talking your options now, and we're more than happy to do that. So please feel free to send those questions through to customer care at a2ktechnologies.com.au, and we'll endeavour to work through those and get back to you as soon as possible. For anybody who registered for today's webinar and had put additional questions in there, I know there were a few people who asked for us to gain contact in relation to pricing. Please bear with us. We will be working through the coming days with that to get that information out to you and be in contact with you as well. And we will be working over the next week to send out the information that we've discussed today from the FAQ Eligibility Matrix pricing and the webinar itself. Fantastic. So we'll be able to send you links for a lot of information, but again, you'll have our details and you can contact us for any further questions. So if there are no further questions, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. Hopefully we've made things a little bit clearer. If we haven't, please get in contact. We'd really like to partner with you moving forward to make this a smoother transition as possible with the move to subscription. Thanks again.